Hey, everybody, welcome to the Players Tech, episode 154. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host. He's soon coming to Game Pass, Montrell Rice.
Hey, what's up? I am not coming to Game Pass yet. Well, maybe.
We probably all are at some point. Microsoft's going to buy everything.
I hope not.
They're on their way. How are you doing, man? How's life treating you?
I've been fucking busy as fuck, like nonstop these past couple weekends, and unfortunately, because of my birthday, people want to take me out, and it's going to continue. So
I'm not going to subject you to that. I'll leave you alone next week.
Yeah, I think after next week. And then it's fucking Valentine's Day. You know what? No, I'm blocking that day. I don't care what anyone else says.
I'm taking myself out for Valentine's Day. Get fucked, lady.
That's exactly what they'll be doing, but not by me. So,
you fucker, man! I totally set that up. Shit. That was a good one. Good one.
So, yeah, I just want to chill and not spend money for like at least 2 months. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Good luck, dude. The games are coming out next week, man. Then forget next week. Tomorrow, we got Pokemon Legends coming out. Next week we got Dying Light. Then 2 weeks after that we got fucking Horizon. I mean, we're fucked, man. Like it's over. The year has come.
I'm going to pick my games lightly. I know for sure I'm buying Horizon.
Yeah, same.
And Sifu, but I'm not buying Pokemon right away, and I'm not buying Elden Ring right away.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, to be real, like we don't have time to play them all. Like realistically, don't have time to play them all. So I'm in the same boat. Go ahead.
I was gonna buy Dying Light 2, and then they came out with the 500 hours thing, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I
got better things to do. That marketing campaign is just so from like 10 years ago. Like, come on, guys. Who's in there thinking that that's still appealing? I will say, admittedly, Techland's probably been in such a bubble, like, because like I feel like they're immune to market trends, like their games are at least. So their marketing team probably has no idea what the fuck's going on in the game industry right now,
But dude, it's like, come on, man. Like that really turned me off. Like as an,
I think it turned a lot of people off. It even turned me off. They clarified and said like it's not actually that much content. That's like if you're doing multiple playthroughs, like full completes, like crazy shit. So
even if you're an adult and you want a platinum game, right? Like I was like, man, I can probably platinum this game because this looks like it's a fun open world game with like super mobility options like the first one did. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and then you give me 500 hours and I'm assuming like that's to do everything. So usually majority of the time to get a platinum, you need to do everything. And I'm like, I had to spend 500 of my hours of my life to get a platinum trophy. It's definitely not worth it.
Well,
I'm sorry,
dude, there's one platinum for Star Ocean, The Last Hope International, and it is the most notorious platinum in PlayStation history. Because the platinum in that game takes like I think over 1,000 hours to get. You have to get every battle trophy for every single character to get the platinum, and the battle trophies in that game are obscene. You have to like kill like fucking like 10,000 monsters with each character, and you have to be controlling the character when they kill the monsters in order to get credit for the kill. So it's just it's a level of grinding that is just beyond the pale. In that game, and for some reason, some insane part of me wants to do it someday. I probably never will. I will never get the wherewithal to like summon the willpower to do that to myself. But I don't know. That game's platinum is like, if you go look it up, it's probably one of the rarest platinums out there. That one in I think White Knight Chronicles is one of the worst ones too. You can't even get that one anymore, but yeah, it's like that game had like a 700-hour platinum or something like that. So there's some crazy shit out there. But yeah, like I don't understand their marketing. Like when I was like 15, that would have excited me, Like, oh fuck yeah, I get to play a game for 3 months straight. That sounds great. Now, God, I'd rather go fucking die, like, than play the same game for 500 hours, like, so.
Yeah, I mean it's cool for like college kids, right? And that's exactly where I went to. I was like, oh, this is cool for like high school kids who don't have that much money,
Yeah.
or college kids who
Right.
working a weekend job and whatever they can get their money's worth. But me, bro, no, I'm gonna beat the game and then move on to the next game.
Yeah, we're
And I
variety
say that, and
gamers. Like that's what we've turned into in
yeah,
our adulthood. Like, I mean, I've kind of always been that way, but we have money now, like I can buy whatever games I want to buy. So it's like I don't want to, like, last year was a bad year for me. Like I played 11 games on PlayStation. That is super bad. I want to play a lot more than that this year. And that requires though that they aren't 200 hours each, So,
yeah.
yeah, but we'll see. I mean, I'm probably going to get that game later in the year, like summertime, when there's more of a lull in the release schedule. That feels like a good time to get it. And it's also a co-op game, so I kind of want to get it to play either with you or my brother or both, if you guys, things line up. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm aiming for with that game. So given that, I'm not super stoked to play it at launch. I'm kind of so engrossed in Final Fantasy 14 right now. I really need a few more weeks before I drop it for something else, like, cold turkey, which I'm not going to do that probably. I'll probably still play it, but when Horizon comes out, I'm playing that game. Like that one's happening. So I'm pretty positive about that. So Pokemon though, it's getting good reviews, like very good reviews. I'm surprised at how well received it is. So I don't know, man. Maybe we're wrong about it.
I didn't. What did we say? I thought I said I'll
I mean,
try it anyway.
I think we both,
I was
we're not
like,
trashing it. Neither of us trash it. I'm just saying
yeah,
that
okay.
we were both kind of like, we had trepidation when it came to the animations and the combat. It didn't look very robust as a game. So
I've been looking at current like review copies of the game, and the review copies look more polished. So I'm assuming the ones that they were showing us was like earlier builds of the game, which is weird that they would do that, but maybe they just have so much confidence. Yeah, I mean, Pokemon fans are gonna buy it anyways. Pokemon, so
right, they could show a literal slideshow of Pokemon, and they would fucking sell like 85,000 million copies. So, you know.
But I did see one tweet though that was really cool, and it shows like the bias that gamers have, like oh, if it's a game that everybody likes and it gets 9 and 10s, like everyone's like, whoa, this game's really cool. But like if it was like a Call of Duty, right, they got like 9 or 10s, or like maybe Madden or maybe like 2K, and it got 9s or 10s. People are like, oh man, the fucking industry's paid off by these guys and everything like that. So
yeah,
I
I
thought that
know,
was a
right?
really cool
That is funny.
tweet. So I'm like, actually, yeah, a lot of people, that's true. Like if that was the case, people would be saying it's paid off, but because it's Pokemon,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know,
no,
man.
the gamers themselves definitely have a bias. Like it, and it, I did, yeah, because it's it's clear. You can see it with certain games, right? The ones that are like legitimate fan favorites, they go after games media when they disagree, with those scores and shit. But when it's a game that they think is, fucking, not good, and games media thinks it's great, it's, oh, they're fucking paid off, blah, 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 so. I don't know, but all right, Montrell, let's get into the show here. For those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so at The Players Take on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. All right, Montrell, let's get into it. I want to start kind of following up what we talked about last week. I know we had a full episode talking about this, but this is such a huge story. I kind of want to just follow up real quick and do a gut check. How are you feeling about the Activision Blizzard acquisition a week and a half out?
I'll be completely honest with you. I hope the Department of Justice kind of blocks it. I thought about it some more. Bro, I did.
Damn.
I thought about it some more.
Yeah.
And as much as I want Blizzard to be free and like make games and shit like that, maybe they'll make good games under Microsoft. I just think the greater the long term effects outweigh the short term effects.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Microsoft goes through with this, then you're right. Everybody else is right, bro. They can buy anything they want to at this point, and no one is safe.
Well,
And
they
I
turned into
just
Disney. They turned into Disney in the video game space, basically.
yeah, there you go,
You know.
exactly. And I I just can't. I can't with a good faith say like, hey, yeah, let's do this. Like, no, man,
Mhm.
this is not it for us. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, so my place, I think the deal's going through. I don't think there's any way it's getting blocked. There's no like reasonable argument to say it's an actual monopoly, really. From what I can, like, from what we have as facts, like it's going to be hard to make that argument. However, what I've been really fixated on lately, we didn't talk about this much last week, is that it's become clear, I think, now, like with these deals and just over time watching Microsoft's kind of ecosystem develop, is that Microsoft is coming for your physical games. And not only are they coming for your physical games, they're coming for any games that you can buy individually. They're coming for digital games too. Like, they don't want you to buy games. They don't give a shit if they sell games individually. They don't want to sell individual copies. They want you signing up for Game Pass. That is their fucking entire play right now. Because if you go look at numbers, like every game that comes out multi-platform always sells better on PlayStation. Almost every game, probably every game. Like literally, it's because most of these games are on Game Pass. If they're on Game Pass, they don't care about selling copies. That's they want it to drive Game Pass subscription numbers. And it's I hadn't thought about it much, and it's really concerning to think about, is that if Sony gets dragged into this muck with Spartacus and really starts pushing that hard themselves, I honestly, because like you start thinking about other industries and you really start examining the future. And dude, like think about television shows, right? Montreal, when was the last time you actually bought a television show a la carte, like an episode or a season? Can you even remember?
Shit, the last DVD. I mean, are we counting like DVDs or
I'm
full box
saying it
DVDs as a la
DVDs
carte?
or Amazon. You bought it digitally on Amazon, something
Oh,
like
you talking
that.
about digitally, not physically,
Either
or
way,
just either
either way.
way? The
Yeah.
last thing I bought was Cowboy Bebop. I bought the full collection and Yu Yu Hakusho, and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, but those are old ass shows.
Yep, that
Like
was the last thing I
I'm
bought.
saying something contemporary, I guess. Let's say that. Something contemporary. Like within a year of it coming out.
Within the year of it coming out, nothing. I
You
haven't
can't even think of
nothing.
it, right? I can't either. I don't
No,
remember the last time I bought a
I, I
television show.
I was thinking about if they have it, but they don't. Like buying Daredevil,
Oh
because that's
yeah.
such a really good show. But
Yes.
I haven't really seen any like box DVD sets or box Blu-ray at
Mhm.
this point. Not DVDs.
Yeah.
That's how old I am, kids. Uh,
But
yeah, I haven't seen anything like that. So yeah.
yeah, to illustrate my point, this is to illustrate my point though. Like that's the future we're looking at if this continues. If Game Pass continues to dominate the way it is in that space, and then Sony starts going down this road, that's the future we're looking at, everybody. Like it might not be exactly the same. It probably won't. Gaming is different from television. But look at music. The music industry is completely shattered by like iTunes and fucking streaming music, like Spotify and shit like that. That industry is in fucking shambles. Like bands can't even make their own records anymore. They have to like fucking tour and kickstart their shit, and like they have to do all sorts of weird shit to get funding. They can't get record deals anymore. Like that industry's like dead, so it's like, and then movies are still not all the way there, but I mean, how many movies do you buy a la carte? I don't like the only time you buy a movie a la carte is going to see it in a theater, and that experience, the theater experience, is quickly dying. Like I don't know how much longer we're gonna have that experience around, and once that's gone, suddenly everything's gonna be streamed on Disney Plus, or like HBO or something like that, which I think HBO is owned by Disney anyways. So, um, all these industries are heading in the same direction: subscription models, subscription models, subscription models. And given that, it becomes kind of clear that that's where video games are going to head to. And personally, I think we're both of the same mind in this. I don't really want that future. I love buying my games a la carte. I like having a library. I love having a physical, shelf full of games. Even though the discs are useless, I still like having a shelf with physical game boxes in my house. I don't want that experience to go away, but I think it's inevitable at this point. I mean, how do you feel about that? Am I barking up? Am I kind of panicking too much here, or am I onto something?
No. So I'm not ready for it either. But the fucked up part about it is, bro, like I don't think our word matters. And when I say our word, I'm not talking about us two. I'm talking about people 30 and over. I don't think our word matters anymore. Kids nowadays, they control the market. 29 and younger. Like, yeah, I'm calling you 28-year-olds fucking kids. I think they control the market, and a lot of them don't really care about owning physical copies of the game.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense now, because if you buy a physical copy of the game, you're buying pretty much I don't want to call it an NFT of the game, but you are a physical NFT of the game, because
you kind of,
because you have to.
You can't play the game without it being online. Like, you have to download. Like, how many games do you buy now? Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, continue. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Like, how many games do you buy where you put the disc in and it downloads the whole game off PSN or Xbox, the Xbox store? Like, it's not even on the fucking disc. Like, the game's not even on the disc. It's literally there just to be like a physical DRM tool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I did try to do that with one game, actually. I think I tried it with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I bought that game physically. I think, was it Final Fantasy? I don't think I had that game physically. I had the game digitally, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I bought another game physically, and I tried to play it like offline because the internet was down one day, and I bought the game anyway, and I tried to play it, and I was like, oh. And it was a single player game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we need to download the update from PSN. Please log in. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah, it won't like, even let you play.
Yeah, it won't let me play. So, and that could just be that particular game, that particular company. But it's like, as much as I want to have like a disc or actually, I love the cover, I like the box art, right? I love box arts and everything like that. Sure. I love physically looking at my shelf of video games and like looking at them.
Yeah. Well, that's I use it to remind me of what I have to play too. Like that's a big part of my experience as a gamer. Like I don't go into my digital library to see what I have.
Exactly. And I remember like my ex, I wanted to buy her Kindle. Right? And she's like, I don't want a Kindle. And I'm like, why? Like, you can put like 10,000 books on the fucking Kindle. Like, you read books, you go through books like every fucking week.
Yeah.
And she has like a huge stack of fucking books. And she's like, I just like the feel of the paper. Like, I like the feel of the book. And that's how I feel about video games. Like, I like the feel of opening the, getting that
even
fucking
shitty
so
ass
plastic.
Pedantic because we touched the game box like once or twice in its lifespan.
I know, but it's just something about ripping over that plastic, that little shitty plastic.
Smell the fucking new game smell, man. There's something about it,
yeah. So and then the only game company that does it, the Switch.
Yeah,
like that's the Switch is the only game company where I can pop it in with no updates and be like, "Yo, I'm ready to go." You know what I'm saying? They may have updates over time, yes, which they really just started doing, right? Which is weird. It was one game I tried to play.
They're not releasing games incomplete where you can't play it without being online.
True.
As far as I know of,
Yeah, and Switch still gives me that feeling, right? I'm like taking a little disc or like the little fucking chip in, and I'm plopping it in. It feels like I'm popping a cartridge in. It feels like an original, like, console or whatever. So that's what I love about the Switch. It just needs to be more powerful, in my opinion, which they have no excuse now. They have the technology. We have the technology. We can do it. But I don't know, man. I feel like even I have been just buying shit digitally now. Like, I'm just like, oh, fuck it, I'm buying digital.
I started doing it a little bit too.
Like, I was gonna buy.
I don't want to wait 2 days for it to ship anymore. Like
exactly.
I'm starting to get that lazy, and
I feel so like
dirty,
like the Zoomers. Yeah, I feel dirty. Like I feel like a fucking like one of these Zoomer kids who just can't fucking wait. Like I was gonna buy Mankind Divided, right? It was $10.
Yeah.
physically, and I'm like, yeah, I want to fucking buy it. And I was about to buy both the SX games, and it was on sale digitally for like $10. I was like, fuck, bro,
Yeah.
get this like $10 right now, or I
Yeah,
can
man.
wait
Right.
get it. So I don't know, man. It's
Well, yeah, I don't know. So I've been thinking about that, and honestly, like if you really take this to its conclusion, I think the next Xbox is not going to have a disc drive. Like
I think the next PS5 is not gonna. I think
I think
the
that's
Pro
highly
versions.
possible too. I think it still might. There's a chance. It really depends on how Spartacus goes in the next few years, but that's
Okay,
possible too, man. Yeah, I think you're totally right though. I think that's possible.
I really think that the Pro versions. I don't think we're gonna get upright like a PS, Xbox Series X2 or whatever the fuck they decided to name it. I don't know because they're weird. And
The Xbox
PS6. I don't.
Series 2X or something.
Yeah, they so fucking. Or it's not even serious. This is gonna be like it's gonna be Xbox Illuminate X or
Yeah,
some dumb shit. I
yeah.
don't fucking know. But like the PS6, I don't think they're gonna outright do that. I think they're gonna do a mid tier upgrade, and I think these consoles are designed in a way to where there's probably gonna be some kind of proprietary chip you can buy to just upgrade it. You don't have to upgrade it outright. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like I think well, I don't think the Xbox is as modular as the PS5. I think the PS5 is going to do that in the future.
Hmm.
Um, so it's just really interesting to see what they're going to do with these consoles. I think these consoles are going to last a lot longer than a lot of people think because these consoles are super powerful, and I know there hasn't been an upgrade. Now, I'm ranting here, but I just really want to hammer this home. There hasn't been an upgrade like this since the Xbox 360 and the PS3, coming from the PS2 into the Xbox, the original OG Xbox. That's how serious this upgrade is. People can say the Xbox One and PS4, like those are ass upgrades in my opinion. I
Hmm.
don't think those are really good upgrades.
Yeah, yeah.
PC, by the time those consoles came out, PC was already like way ahead of it. Whereas now these consoles are coming out, they're not to the par of like, the highest $2,000 upgrade PC with a 3090, blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
But like they can run just as well as like a 3070 or a fucking, 67 series. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
6700 series for AMD people. So it's like, and with the just the fact alone that they're on SSD, like you wouldn't even tell the difference. Like, yeah, your graphics may be a little bit worse, but it's like I think people are done with the realistic graphics as well. But that's like a whole different conversation.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean that's where I stand. I guess they're coming for your games, man. Enjoy this while you can. Those summer Steam sales and the winter Steam sales and the PSN sales, man, they're not going to be around forever. Like I don't know. It I don't know. I think we'll be able to buy games probably for a very long time, but it won't be the popular way to absorb. It eventually it will become. You will be an idiot for buying games singularly. The value will be so high with these subscription services that you, just like it is with Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus, like you will be a
Mhm.
dumbass for buying your
Well,
games
the industry
singularly.
kind of did it to themselves, and I blame GameStop for this. Because as soon as you buy a game and then you try to return it, that shit is like half the value.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's fair.
So
No, I mean Microsoft's smart, dude. Like I don't want this to happen, but they saw room for something like this, and they struck. Like the industry was set up in a way where this is an extremely good value for the consumer, and suddenly. I mean, we were talking about getting the like most popular games and stuff. Like, dude, buying Call of Duty physically or Madden physically every year is pointless because those games are worthless within a few months, right? Like you trade Madden in a year after it comes out, it's worth $2 or a dollar. It's worth shit.
yeah.
Like because there's a new Madden coming out. It's a yearly release, right? Well, guess what? Both of those games are on Game Pass every year now. Like they're on Game Pass right now. Or sorry, Call of Duty's not. It will be soon. Don't worry.
Yeah.
When this Activision deal goes through, it will be. But Madden's already on Game Pass, so you've got two of the biggest boys on Game Pass. Well, then all that's left is like 2K. That's like the triple crown. Of like mainstream video games right there. You get all those on Game Pass, and all of a sudden, like Sony's fuck, dude, like Sony's got to be sweating at that point. Like shit, why would you come to us
Well,
and spend $210 to buy these games when you can get it for fucking $10 a month on Xbox's side? You know, it's
well,
like
to be honest, the only thing that's carrying Sony is the brand name. Like
yeah,
that's
and the
literally
game, the
20.
exclusives.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I say brand name.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
all that encompasses it. And to be honest with you, like without 2013 was a cataclysmic failure for Xbox. They're still paying for it 9 years later. Like that's how big that was. And Sony is paying off for it. And I think Sony has a couple more years left until like if the fucking if this like this chip shortage ends and stuff like that. I think like in the coming Christmases, if the chip shortage ends, let's say the chip shortage ends in 2013 or 2023, end of 2023, right before Christmas hits, parents are gonna be like, all right, guys, what's the more cost effective console? Should I go with the Xbox or should I go with the PS5? Of course, kids are gonna be like, yo, I want the PS5, I want the PS5, I want the PS5. But then parents are gonna be like, but I can get the PS5 or I can get the Xbox Series X for the same price, and I can get Game Pass, and I can get you all these games. You can play all these games for like a month.
Yeah.
I don't have to buy these games
A
anymore.
month, you can play it endlessly. I mean, they're gonna
Yeah,
have.
I'm just saying,
when
like
this
if they have a
dude, when this Activision deal goes through, they're gonna have a catalog that is mighty. You know.
yeah, I'm hoping because we need competition, and this is why I'm hoping Spartacus is, and I'm hoping like these whole emulation rumors are true as well for PlayStation because Xbox needs fucking competition. Nintendo's not going to step to the plate. That is done, and they're not. We need Sony to step up and be like, hey, Spartacus is here, and you got the emulated games that are not streamed; they're downloaded. They're emulated rather, and you can play these games. And that would be the competition, the capitalist wave, right? That would be the competition that we need to like have these companies like, battling it out for it's gonna be like a Hulu versus Netflix thing, so I'm interested to see. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm interested in seeing what's gonna happen between both these companies.
Indeed. All right, Montrell, we've talked enough about that. Let's get into the show proper. Let's start with what we've been playing. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I just been playing like I haven't really touched Devil May Cry or Sekiro, but I have been playing a lot of Apex and a lot of League of Legends and besides Apex really triggers me. The League I've been pretty chill. Even though I've been cussing a lot on the Discord, but that's chill compared to what the fuck Apex does to me. I get fucking triggered by Apex. That shit triggers the fuck out of me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't really been touching anything else, unfortunately.
Yep, I haven't
Lately.
been playing really much new. I've been playing a little more Dota 2, trying to get Montrell into it. He
I
did
did download it.
download it, so
Yeah,
that's
I
the
did
first
download
step.
it.
I was streaming it the other night, and he was watching it while you while you were playing League. That shit was funny.
We're so fucking degenerates.
We're
Like
such
people like
degenerates. Like literally, you're playing a MOBA and watching me play a MOBA at the same time. It's really bad. We're terrible people. But I'm getting more into it, man. I miss Dota. I really did. If you get into it and we can kind of get Andy into it, then we have a group, like a full pre-made at that point. And
Yeah, it looked fun with 5 people. It looked really fun. Like y'all was like struggling, but it looked fucking fun as fuck. I ain't gonna lie.
hey, I was
That was pretty
dominating. Okay, shut the fuck up. I was dominating them bots. All right.
fun. All right.
Bro, the second game I played as Bristleback, I went like 25-1 or some shit. I just like
Yeah,
fucking,
you did carry the
I
team.
was
I was just
destroying
saying,
those
like
fuckers, man.
that it was kind of rough because when Random Wonder was giving you a run for your money.
Yeah, but
She was,
I didn't die. Like I was holding on, man. I was doing okay.
yeah, you were.
It was just a bad lane though. Yeah, they were brutal, dude. They were up my ass. Like Windrunner and Juggernaut, they would not let me last hit. It was crazy. But I turned it around. It's all good. Bots suck. So but yeah, I've been playing that. That's fun. Maybe you'll hear next week Montrell has actually dabbled a little. We'll see. And Final Fantasy 14 though, that's the big game I've been playing. I finished Endwalker over the weekend, like I said, I thought I would, and this was a really good expansion. I don't think it's my favorite in terms of story. I think it really it. I think it's still like Heaven's Ward, Shadowbringers, and then Endwalker, and then Stormblood is like a distant fourth. You know, we don't talk about Stormblood. I don't know why I frame it so negatively. It's not that bad, but Endwalker's good. It's a little bit under Shadowbringers for me, but not by much. Like I still think it's a good expansion. I just like really fucking enjoy these characters in the
Mm-hmm.
world this game takes place in, and I'm frankly like super fucking excited for the future because we are leaving behind the story arc that has been this game's entire run since it came out for a second time in 2012. So it's or 2013, whatever year it was. So yeah, it's an exciting time I think to be a Final Fantasy 14 player because we are embarking on a legitimately new journey. And honestly, the game world seemed small by the end of Endwalker, but there were some pieces of it. There's literally like a line at the end of the game where one of the characters starts talking about some of the places you haven't been yet. And it kind of got me like really jazzed. I'm like, oh, okay, there's like more to this world than they've shown us, you know? So I'm like, I'm excited. There's tons of shit that we could see in the future. So really looking forward to new content and then whatever the next expansion brings too. But that's probably a couple years out at least. So not much
Yeah,
to
I
talk
just
about
really
there.
hope they kind of revamp the experience in general. Like I really want it to be a group experience. I really want it to be a group experience, but still stay single player if that makes any sense. And I know to your this, I know like from what you were telling me, like I understand. I mean, we both know how Final Fantasy works.
Yeah,
It's just I really didn't like how they did the story structure. I love the story. I just didn't like how they did the quest system when
yeah,
it comes to parties. Like I
yeah.
should be able to come into your instance with you as just like a,
Yeah, the Japanese are
an
really weird about
adventurers.
this shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
because you remember Monster Hunter World, how weird that game was about multiplayer?
Oh my fucking
Where
god. Yeah,
like you
you're
would be doing
right.
a story quest and you couldn't join the quest until the fucking intro cinematic was triggered by the solo player. So annoying. Like I don't understand why they have this weirdness about it. Like I can't see why Final Fantasy 14 doesn't let a party play through the story together. You know, there's no real
Yeah.
reason to not allow it. Um,
Yeah.
because realistically, I know the duties like you can't do them together. They're not designed to be done with a group, but just let everybody in the party go into their own instance duty. Like you don't have to disband the party to do that, or you shouldn't have to, right? In my opinion. Like maybe that's too difficult, but I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it is what it
It's just
is.
weird. Yeah, it's just weird. Like, we'll scale the monster up or whatever. Like, if we are fighting, I know for purpose sake, sometimes they want to do like the one-on-one battles, but like, come on, man, like it's an MMO. Like, like
Yeah.
let's just scale the guy up, and like if it's a four-party person, it's a four-party team. Scale them up for four people, and then let us fight. Like, I don't think, and I think they think that right because it takes them out of the story. It takes people out the story, but not for me, right?
Mhm.
Like up until Halo 3, Halo 1 and 2, when you're doing co-op, you had two Master Chiefs on the field. And they showed one Master Chief during the cutscene. And you know what? Didn't take me out the story whatsoever.
Nobody
I didn't fucking
cared.
care. Nobody cared.
It's great. I can play with my
Only
friend.
until Yep, exactly. Only until Halo 3 where they start incorporating like, oh, you're bringing like a random Covenant person along with you, or you're bringing the actual Arbiter with you, or whatever like that. That's only when they started doing that. But besides that, even the Halo 4, I think that had co-op. It did have co-op. They did the same thing, right? So it's like, and then they got rid of it in Halo 5. But um, Reach and all those other ones, like you had like a duplicate of the hero, and no one fucking cared. Like nobody really gave a fuck. We're playing through the story. It was just about playing through the story with each other. And I think that's what the Japanese like. They think I think they think so highly of like Western worlds and Western talk and stuff like that that or not Western talk, but like Western like how we view that story or whatever. They want
Yeah.
it to be perfect,
Yeah.
and it's like, bro, no, like we just want to play through the story with each other. Like,
No,
We do
like
it
we
through
can
in
separate
WoW.
the idea that I'm in a party and the game thinks I'm not. Like
Yeah,
that's fine. I
exactly.
don't care. That doesn't break my immersion, you know? I don't know. I I think they I think the game's definitely biggest problem is, I mean, this doesn't matter for me anymore because I'm caught up, but the main story quest for new players is such a like Herculean effort to get through now. I think you're at the point where it's probably gonna take you legitimately 2 to 3 months realistically for any new player to get through that experience, and that means that most of the rest of the game is pretty much locked off to you until you finish it, you know.
Hmm.
Raids and end game content and a lot of that stuff, like in events and shit like that, like you really can't do most of it until you hit max level.
So
um
what do you think from A Realm Reborn to now? How long would that take a player?
I so it took me a month and a half, I think. Yeah, it was about a month and a half to 2 months to get through half of A Realm Reborn, and then all the patches and all the expansions through to the end of Shadowbringers. So if you're starting from actual level 1, like very beginning of the game, and going through what is currently Endwalker now, Endwalker's main story, I mean, we're talking, dude, I think it's easily 2 months. If that's all you play and you can play for 3 to 4 hours a night, a day, yeah, 2 months probably. More realistically, for somebody who's more casual and doesn't have that much time during a week, I mean, you're talking 3, 4 months probably or more.
I
That
mean,
is a significant investment requirement for a new player,
yeah.
and it's
Yep.
becoming a humongous barrier to entry, I think, for the game. Because our friend Brad wants to play with us, and it's like we literally know what's going to happen if he tries to play. He's never going to catch up. He's going to be playing the main story quest for the next 4 months, and he's never going to play with us because he's going to burn out and give up, you know? So we bought him the fucking game and the boosts because that's the only realistic way he's ever going to play with us. And
Hmm.
that's like, it's like this, it's almost like a Ponzi scheme they've set up now, where we're literally so desperate to play with our friends who haven't played the game that we're like fucking buying them the boosts, you know, to get through all the content that we know they don't want to do, or we don't want to have to wait for them to do. You know, it's like it's kind of bullshit, and they have no incentive to do anything about it because I'm sure they make a ton of fucking money off boosts. You know, so I don't know. It's not great realistically, but
Yeah,
the game
I
itself,
agree.
though, once you're playing it and you're into it, it's a really great experience. And I would recommend, if you're looking for a game with a great story and you can be in for the long haul, even if you're not playing it exclusively, like you just play it over time, like 6 months to a year, I would highly recommend at least playing through the game once. If you like MMOs and you like good stories, like this game has an excellent storyline. Like it's so well told. There's so many
Hmm.
callbacks. There's great tie-ins. A lot of the ways, the kind of twists that happen in the story, for the most part, some of them in Endwalker are definitely weird, and when you look back on the game, you're like they really went there, huh? This shit is fucking weird, but it still makes sense, you know.
Hmm.
Ultimately, and it doesn't feel as bad as other things that have tried to do similar stuff. And yeah, so that's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything really, but definitely recommend it. Looking forward to you getting back into it, Montrell. We want to play with you, man.
Yeah, I want to play with you guys. I have been having the itch lately because I don't know.
You hear
I,
me, Jet pontificating about how fun it is,
yeah, I just need, like I said, I'm not pressed for money, but I went over budget, so it's like I'm
Yeah.
just really trying to cut back on spending, and $90 is an investment because I think that's what Jet spent
Yes. Expansion in the
for
boosts.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the expansion and the boost.
I
So,
mean, you got to stop buying guns, man. Okay? Like,
oh my god,
you've got a problem, okay?
I only bought like one. Okay, Jesus. I think the
It's
last gun I
okay.
bought was my pistol. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was the
I
last one
won't
I
I
bought.
won't judge. I'm a bad person when it comes to certain games, and yeah, Dota 2, I spent a little money in there, last week, and like, you know, I'm a bad person, so it's okay. We all have our vices, right? Things we're weak to. So
Okay.
it's all good. Get the game when you can. We'll be here. I don't plan on stop playing anytime soon. I'm really into it right now. There may be a point. There's going to be a point where I'm not playing every night probably, but I'm not there yet. I'm really into it. Looking forward to playing tonight actually for sure. So, all right, Montrell. Let's move into the news. We're 40 minutes into the show and we got to get through all this news. I don't want to be here for 3 hours. So, all right, let's start. This one kind of came out of nowhere, but not too surprising, but at the same time, kind of, I guess, maybe exciting for a certain group of people, maybe even us. Um, so EA and Lucasfilm Games announced this week that 3 new Star Wars games are in the works at Respawn Entertainment. And we know that one of them is a sequel to Fallen Order, for sure. So the second game in that series. And then they're also working on a first-person shooter, which not surprising given Respawn's pedigree. And then the last one, though, interestingly, is a strategy game. They have apparently
That
made it.
one
Yeah,
is what caught my eye.
they've made a
I
dev team of former Firaxis developers who used to work on
Ooh.
XCOM. So that
Oh, is
one,
it going to be an XCOM style strategy game?
it might be. I mean, who knows? We'll see.
Okay. That
So
is the popular format right now. I
it
wanted the
is.
RTS,
Yeah.
but
We've had a Star Wars RTS though in the past, right?
recently?
No, not recently. That was a long time ago, but it was what was it?
I don't remember it. I don't remember that one.
Go look it up, man. You can get it on Steam for like $5 probably. If
Oh
you've never
shit, I
played it.
might play that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty well received too, from what I remember. So but yeah, strategy game. So I mean, given that, let's say it is an XCOM game, does that excite you? Because I do think the
Um
format would be fun with Star Wars.
yeah, so I can't really judge XCOM games 'cause I haven't really played them. Um I've been hit or miss on them so far. Like they look fun, but then it looks like I'll get bored with them fast, and that's just me. Because I'm like, I'm an action style type of person, but I do also dibble and dabble in strategy games. Like I like fucking, Advance Wars
Yep.
and fucking Fire Emblem and all that shit like that. So it's like in the Sega. So it's like I do like strategy games. It depends on like the speed of the strategy game and like if
Mhm.
it's nuanced or not.
Mhm.
I really not a really good big person of percentages, even though I say that in Fire Emblem was that exact same thing. Um I don't know, XCOM seems more deliberate when I watch people play it.
It's an
And maybe
extreme tactics strategy game.
y-
Like
yeah,
you will be punished for making bad decisions in those games.
yeah, and you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like old school Fallout. And like back in the day, I had the patience to play those type of games, but now I don't think I do.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, like it's one of those games where you can't watch somebody stream it. You have to play it yourself because if you watch somebody play it, you're gonna get bored as fuck. So yeah, I think I am just going to dibble and dabble in one. I'm not going to do the Raging Rabbits one, but I'm going to try XCOM, and I'm hoping it is like an XCOM one because, like I said, those are well received, and that would definitely sell because everybody loves those style of games. So yeah, I mean, we just need really good Star Wars games, and I'm praying, and it looks like they're going this direction that it's not going to be a Jedi XCOM game. Like I want like fucking generals or I want fucking
Yeah,
mercs and shit like that.
stormtroopers, and yeah, you want
Yeah,
actual like gunfights. I mean that fits XCOM
yeah,
better. I imagine there will be Jedi and Sith though in there because those feel like really good boss enemies in an XCOM game.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's a good point. Yeah.
because yeah, if you ever watched XCOM 2, like the 4th or 5th level in the game, you fight this like uber powerful mega boss that like you have to be able to beat, even though it's really hard. Like they like it's like a fuck you level, from the developers. So that feels like the kind of thing they'd throw in that style of game is like a fucking Sith like boss or something. So
And you know what? XCOM is really weird and successful. I'm glad it's successful. It came out in a time where those games weren't doing well. Like everybody was on a first person Call of Duty style game, and then XCOM came out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, I'm here, and this is what I am," and people loved it. And that's what I love about XCOM and those type of games. So
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, this is something I wish the publishers would learn is that turn-based games aren't inherently like bad. Like people don't hate them. It's just they need to be good. Like
Yeah,
Like they're
exactly.
about depth. Like they need to be deep games that strategy actually matters in. If you hit those two things and the game has a good presentation and everything like that, then it'll sell pretty well. Like they're not immune to sales. you
Yeah,
know
exactly. Yeah.
so yeah, it's like Final dude, like bro, if Square Enix ever re-releases Final Fantasy Tactics, on like PS5 or some shit, or remakes it, that game is gonna sell fucking gangbusters. Like it's one of the most beloved fucking strategy games ever made. So
Yeah.
so yeah.
And a lot of the strategy games are based off that game.
Yeah.
Like they are like, yeah, the
Right.
creators are like, yeah, I used to play fucking Final Fantasy Tactics when I was like a child or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
The thing with Star Wars, I saw a lot of people saying that they're worried from Respawn. So, oh my god, we're going to get a free to play Apex, and like, first of all, Apex is fundamentally it's a good game. Like, let's not shit on Apex,
Yeah.
y'all, just because y'all don't fucking like Apex.
Mechanically,
Like,
it's
come
really,
on,
really good. Yeah.
exactly. So and then on top of that, they made fucking Titanfall. Like, did people just forget Titanfall? Like, they
They
made
did. Dude,
Titanfall.
they did.
Like,
Titanfall's
dude.
been done so dirty. Man, it's just forgotten to history. Like, it's like it didn't exist.
Exactly. I'm like, did y'all not play Titanfall 1 and 2? Like, that game's fucking the shit. So I have complete confidence that they can make a fucking Star Wars first person shooter game. Like, complete
Yeah.
confidence. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, of course, I think the third game is going to be the Jedi. No, this is another Jedi game they're talking about. It's going to be like Fallen Order 2 or something like that. So yeah, I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
I'm on board with them taking the helm.
I think if EA is going to give Star Wars games to any developer they have, Respawn's the one I trust the most. So let's go. I'm down. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what comes out of this for sure. We'll see. I trust Respawn a lot. I think they're a great dev. As much as we do yell about Apex on the show and in our Discord all the time how they don't deal with hackers, they've definitely left some things on the table with Apex. But overall, it's still a really good game. We wouldn't be playing it if it wasn't. So
for facts.
Yeah. So all right, let's move on. Another Star Wars story, having to do with EA as well. In the wake of this news with Respawn, it was actually kind of reported as well that DICE is not going to be working. It looks like Battlefront 3 is not going to be happening. They're focused on Battlefield going forward. And yeah, no Battlefront 3 happening. So
this triggered the fuck out of me, by the way.
Go ahead.
It triggered the fuck out of me. Because everyone's like, oh no, like I like Battlefront 2 because it's the good now, but people don't remember how bad this fucking game was on release. Like it was bad. Like mechanically it was good, but there were no fucking modes. Like it was just nothing. It was
loot box mania, dude. You remember that? You remember that? That was like the game that made us all realize how bad loot boxes were. You remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember that.
How do people forget this? It's only been 4.5 years, guys. Like, what the fuck is wrong with all of you? Like,
because they improved the modes. They got this hero mode that everyone fucking loves. They got these other conquest mode that I've admitted I came back to it and I'm like, holy fuck, this game's really good as fuck now. Yeah. But that was like 3 years ago and I played it. Or that was a year ago. So at the time I would say it took them 3.5 years to get it together. And now the game's great. But how about we release the game great on release? Like, can we just do that one time? I'm just asking DICE. I'm asking, Activision. I'm asking fucking Halo. I'm asking 343 Studios. Can we just release the game good on release? I don't understand what it is with game companies and learning from their mistakes because they don't fucking learn from their mistakes. Like Halo 5 and Battlefield, except for we would say Battlefield 1, were practically damn near perfect at the end of their life cycle, right? Why not take everything we learned from there and then apply it to the next game? Instead, we get the same fucking mistakes. Like, it's the same shit. Yeah. And you know what the biggest culprit of this was? Destiny. Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 was an absolute fucking shit show. And people just fucking forget it. It's like, Are we serious? Do we not forget how we came from, Iron Forge to fucking bullshit and
Right.
Destiny
Well,
2 the
Destiny
same
1
shit?
was like a game that had multiple DLCs, multiple expansions, was really robust, really well developed, like had become a good game by the end of its lifespan, right? And then Destiny 2 comes out and it has nothing. It's just got like a raid and like a few strikes and like a campaign, and that's the game. It's like they like took everything out. They didn't move anything forward with the game. And dude, I'll bring up another franchise. Fucking Civilization kills me. Okay, everybody loves Civ, right?
Mm,
Nobody ever
yep.
criticizes Firaxis, but dude, Civilization has killed me for fucking 2 decades because they do the same shit. They'll come up with a game like I'm like Civ 6 right now is like the most robust Civilization game we've ever fucking had. Right? It's so like deep and has all these mechanics and all these DLCs. They've added 2 expansions, tons of DLCs. They had a fucking like season pass they did with all this added shit, new modes and shit. And when Civ 7 comes out, it's going to be like none of that exists. It's going to come out, it's going to have 20 civilizations, it's going to have no modes, it's going to have none of these fucking features that they've added over the years. Religion won't be in the game, there won't be fucking corporations in the game, you won't be able to trade with people. Like all the fucking core features of a robust Civ game will be taken out of the game to be sold to you again later in expansion packs. Like that's what they do. That's their fucking business model. It's so fucking annoying. Rather than making the series better every single numbered entry, they just keep doing this shit. And it's like, to me, if that's your fucking business model, bro, then just fucking release Civ 7 and that's it. We never get another Civ game. You just make it a fucking platform like Destiny 2 is or whatever the fuck, you know? Like if
Well, another game that did it in just recently, and we both actually fell for the trap again, was Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah.
We had Monster Hunter World.
Right.
And then
they ripped it all out. It's like, dude, it's fucking so bad. Like, oh my god, it's such a clear example. Like, Monster Hunter Rise is a game. It's so bare bones. It was so bare bones at launch. Like, there was like 25 monsters, and they didn't even have end game gear in the fucking game. Like, the fuck are you talking about? There was nothing to grind for at the end of fucking Monster Hunter Rise. It was so pointless. Like fuck, man, you know? It's so irritating, you know? And we keep buying this shit, us included. Like, I fucking bought Civ 6 at launch knowing it was going to be ripped to shreds. Like, and I got super pissed when I bought it too. And I had these criticisms. But it's like, did I learn my lesson? No. When Civ 7 comes out, I'm not buying it. I am not buying it unless it is somewhat like built out. If it's a game that doesn't have all these features, like it doesn't have religion, doesn't have all these, like all this, a lot of shit from Civ 6, I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I'm just going to wait 2 or 3 years.
I was the same. I was the same way with Rise. I thought they were going to do a little bit differently, but it was just...
It was worse.
It was worse. And when the next Monster Hunter game comes out, I learned my lesson. I'm not going to buy it on release. Like, it's going to be fucking hard because I'm pretty sure it's going to look fucking sweet as shit. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to play it. And I'm like, nope, remember what happened with Rise. And I'm not going to buy it. And I don't know it. So, I mean, I come to bring all this back to Battlefield and, Battlefront. Like, that fucking sucks because Battlefront, even though the game wasn't the Battlefront I wanted, it still became a really good game, and Battlefront 3 could have been better.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that now, I'm like, I don't know if it could have been better. But you know what? It was Battlefront 2, I will give them credit, was significantly better than Battlefront 1. Battlefront 1 was ass. Like, it was an okay game, but then Battlefront 2 came out, it had really decent maps and things of that nature. It was just the modes and the fucking microtransactions. And now, I mean, looking at fucking Battlefield, like, bro, did we not learn anything from Battlefield 5?
Yeah.
And you know what? We didn't put it in here, but I'm going to say it. These motherfuckers are thinking about making Battlefield free to play. If that's the case, I want my $70 back.
Yeah.
I want my money back because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Game companies would do every other option except make a good fucking game. And it irritates the shit.
I know, it is weird. It's like they're allergic to making good games. Like some of these companies, it's like, dude, this is why Activision Blizzard getting bought, everybody's so positive about it because they're another example of it, right? They're literally allergic to making good video games. Like they want to do everything other than make their customers happy. Like they just want to manipulate you into giving them money. Like that's what they're trying to do, and it's so fucking trite at this point. I'm so tired of it that part of me is actually okay with Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard because maybe we'll get good video games out of that fucking company again. Like it's actually
Yeah.
possible now. Whereas before, there's no fucking way. Bobby Kotick was so obsessed with nickel and diming people. Fucking, they've been doing it for 15 years with Call of Duty, and no one learns. Everybody's a fucking simp for that franchise. I don't get it. What's so good about Call of Duty? I don't get it. I've never got it. I just don't understand it.
It was a really fun game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was really fun. It was kind of revolutionary. Yeah. Call of Duty 4 came out and changed the landscape.
Call of Duty 4 is like 12 years old. Like, what are we talking about? I don't give a shit about a PS3 game. Like,
I know, but I'm just telling you where the simps came from.
I know. They're so annoying.
And then you have it's almost like Pokemon. It is like Pokemon because you have people that came in at different generations, right? There's like people who come in at Black Ops 2, like, Black Ops 1 sucks, because you can't do this, or there are people who came in at fucking Infinite War, and even though we all know that Infinite War was like bad, right? Well, not. The campaign was actually really good, but the multiplayer was really bad. There are people who came in, like kids, who were like, that was their first like adult video game they can play. And they're like, oh my God, this game is great. I don't know what you guys don't see in this game. Yeah. And it's like they have that nostalgia, right? And it's like Pokemon. Like people, like older generations of people love Red and Blue. We're like, yo, mwah, we do. Top tier. And then Gold and Silver, we're like, oh my God, I'm jacking off to it right now. Like, and then other people, right, who came in at like fucking Diamond and Pearl, they're like, what the fuck do you see in Gold and Silver? What are you talking about? Black and white is superior to everything. What the fuck are you talking about? Or Black and White 2. Everybody, I think everybody unanimously agrees Black and White is ass. Black and White 2 is superior to everything. I gotta play right?
Black and White 2, man.
Black and White 2 is actually pretty good.
I started it a long time ago, and I got through like the intro sequence, and then I put it down and never played it again. So I was like, I wasn't sold.
I played it on emulator. Yeah, I played it on emulator, and it was actually pretty good. But yeah, like it's the same thing with like, and I think the only game that doesn't really do this as far as like franchises and stuff like that is like Battlefield, because they don't really have that generation effect, right? Like there are people who came in at Battlefield 3 and they still hold Battlefield 3 as regards, but they won't argue with people who are like, yo, Bad Company 2, the best game ever. They won't argue with people who are like Battlefield 1942, the best Battlefield ever. Or what was the futuristic Battlefield? I can't remember that one. It was a futuristic one.
Wasn't it 2142?
2142. Yeah. 2142. People who say that, like they all have their collective fans, and they really don't argue with each other about which one. But when a Battlefield is bad, holy shit, do we all come together and like, this is a bad Battlefield game, don't buy it. So I don't know, man. Like Battlefield really had an advantage with their player base. They had a really loyal player base. We aren't like Call of Duty fans, we aren't like Madden fans, we aren't like Pokemon fans. Like they're really loyal to a default on their games.
Yeah.
And because the quality was there. But now the quality has suffered. So why would I buy Call of Duty, or why would I buy Battlefield over Call of Duty at this point?
Yeah, it's fair.
So,
yeah, and I think companies are really scared to carry things over. Gamers have kind of conditioned them, I think, to not, because you see all this shit about like God of War and Horizon like reusing animations and stuff.
Oh my God!
And people are like criticizing them for that, and I'm like, guys, like, why would they remake an animation that looks good and works? Like,
tell me you don't know game design or game
development, right?
Without telling me you don't know game development.
Exactly, dude. Like, did you understand how long it takes to make some of those things? Like how much time it takes? Like, they would be stupid to remake that. Like,
and this is why I think social media and YouTube, in a way, because a lot of those videos do go on YouTube, and people do complain about that type of shit on YouTube. Was kind of a mistake, because it gave everybody the platform, and it gave people who talk really well but don't know what the fuck they're talking about a platform to say dumb shit like that. Like, you don't even have to be enthralled in fucking gaming. You just know game design, movie design, any kind of design. Like, if you can reuse an asset that saves time and money on something else, maybe whether it be cents, dollars, or whatever the case may be. That God of War getting inside, I remember people were like, "Oh, the fucking getting the boat animation is the same." Like, bro, that animation probably costs like $2,000 or $3,000. So they got to get the motion capture and actors to do it. Yeah, they got to get the actors to do it. Yeah, like they saved $30,000 by
fuck the money. It's the time that's even more valuable, that they don't have to spend the time of coordinating all that, then actually doing the mocap scenes, then putting it in the game, making fucking, models for it and making sure it looks good and all that shit. Frame rates are right, all that stuff. It's a fucking boat animation. Who cares? Like, Are you going to notice? Like 20 hours into fucking the new God of War, that's like amazing, and you're like sitting there like a fucking curmudgeon, like fucking boat animation just same as the first game, like fucking, like, come on, dude, like get over it, bro. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, how many of you? This is the other precious part about it, though, Montrell. Is like, how many of you motherfuckers in high school and college went on the internet and plagiarized like motherfuckers on your fucking essays? Okay, like. You'll steal other people's work. Let these companies steal their own work, okay? Let them steal their own work. It's their work. They can use it however they see fit, okay? If they do it too much, where the game is like literally just the copy-paste of the first game, okay, we can criticize them for that. But God of War is not going to be that. It's going to be a completely different game. New fucking environments. There'll probably be a new weapon. Like, all sorts of crazy shit. Like, new combos for the existing weapons. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're acting like they're not putting any effort in. Like, if they weren't putting any effort in, the game would be out right now. It would have been out 2 years ago. Like, it would have been out in 2020. They would have pooped it out in 2 years. That's what Activision does. That's what EA does. Sony doesn't do that shit. Why are you criticizing them? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't know.
No, you're right.
I digress.
It's actually wild. So, and then the companies we want them to carry over shit like, like Halo and everything like that, and 343 Studios.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Monster Hunter, they didn't do that shit. So,
they don't do that shit.
Yeah, so,
and then they carry it over and repackage it as DLC, and we're like, oh my god, this game's support is so robust. They're supporting this game for years, and it's like, okay, all those models were in Monster Hunter World. It's the same engine. Like, come on.
You know what? And Monster Hunter World had a fucking excuse because that was a completely new engine from the old engine.
Right.
But Monster Hunter Rise, you're right. That's the same fucking engine, bro. Same engine.
Yeah. Like, so get the fuck out of here. You can't give me a Lagiacruz, Give me something new. Don't like. I will say, to their credit, they did put Valve tracks in. I was clamoring for that.
And those were free updates, by the way. So I give them that.
True.
It's just, why can't we just get a game with G rank from the start? Like,
yeah, that's kind of my ask. That's what I want. I think that's what I want. Like, I want Monster Hunter to do away with this release model. Okay, just give us G rank from the start. That is the game. That's the game. Like, that's the full game. Is low rank, high rank, G rank. Like, the low rank, high rank bullshit is not the game. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not. Like, that's not what Monster Hunter is to me. And maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm fucking not a true fan. I don't fucking know. But it's just not the game. Like, it's just not nearly as fun. I find it pointless because I know it's going to be invalidated in a year when they release G rank. All the grinding you do up to that point, once you hit the end of high rank and you start grinding armor, there's no point because the second G rank comes out, it's all nullified. It's useless. Yep. You will replace it in 3 hunts. Like, so
seriously, you will replace it in 3 hunts. He's not bullshitting with
you. It's worse than World of Warcraft expansions. Like, that's how bad the scaling is, for G rank. So yeah. All right. Enough on that, Montrell. Right. Let's move on.
Those NPD numbers, baby.
Let's go.
For this one.
Hell yeah. No, this is a good one. All right, so we got NPD numbers for December and the entirety of 2021. So let's get through it real fast and we'll get some thoughts in here. So for December 2021, total video game sales, 7.546 billion versus 7.632 billion in 2020. That is a negative 1% change, meaning down 1% year over year. Video game content, this is physical digital game sales, microtransactions, subscriptions, all sorts of shit. 5.734 billion versus 5.729 billion. 0% change. very slightly positive increase there. Video game hardware 1.319 billion versus 1.363 billion. That is a negative 3% change. Video game accessories 493 million this year versus 540 million last year. That is a negative 9% change. Let's go into the full year sales numbers. Total video game sales for 2021 60.399 billion versus 56.064 billion in 2020. That is an 8% increase year over year. That is fucking crazy. Video game content, everything I said above, game sales, microtransactions, subscriptions, 51.692 billion versus 48.122 billion this last year. That is a 7% increase. Video game hardware, 6.056 billion versus 5.331 billion. That is a 14% increase year over year for hardware. And then accessories, 2.652 billion versus 2.611 billion last year. That is a 2% increase year over year.
You cannot tell me this industry is not lucrative. What the fuck?
I know, man. 8% increase. I mean, we're talking $4 billion like increase in sales year over year for the entire industry. Like, that doesn't sound like a lot. And I know Microsoft just bought Activision for more than the entire video game industry sold made in revenue last year. Oh my god. I didn't even think about that till just now.
Wow, you put that in that perspective. What the fuck? What?
Isn't that insane?
That is insane.
That is totally insane. Microsoft's a fucking cartoon villain. But still, like, given that $60 billion for an industry, though, is a lot. Like, that's big. That's a big ass industry. So the industry is growing and it's continuing to grow. And the pandemic bump we got a couple of years ago has solidified. I think it's permanent. It's here to stay, and they're continuing to grow. Even if it's slow a little bit, it's still growth, you know. And honestly, we're talking big numbers here now. 8% growth is $4 billion year over year. That is huge money, you know. So, all right, top 20 games for December 2021. Number 1, Call of Duty Vanguard. Number 2, Halo Infinite. Number 3, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Number 4, Madden NFL 22. Number 5, Battlefield 2042. Number 6, Mario Kart 8. Number 7, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Number 8, Mario Party Superstars. Number 9, NBA 2K22. Number 10, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 11, FIFA 22. Number 12, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 13, Minecraft. Number 14, Far Cry 6. Number 15, Just Dance 2022. Number 16, Forza Horizon 5. Number 17, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 18, Ghost of Tsushima. Number 19, Super Mario 3D World. And number 20, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Nintendo. More Nintendo. Of those games that I mentioned, the following digital sales were not included: Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl at number 3, Mario Kart 8 at number 6, Mario Party Superstars at number 8, NBA 2K22 at number 9, Animal Crossing at 10, Super Smash Bros. At 12, Super Mario 3D World at 19, and Breath of the Wild at 20. None of those had digital sales, so they likelier probably would have ranked higher had those been included. I will say congrats to Microsoft on Halo ranking 2. That is impressive, given that is a day one Game Pass game, that it sold that well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's worth it. I think people should play it. I mean, I've been playing it. I haven't been playing it recently, but I have bought the single player, and it's actually really fun. So it misses some marks, but it actually hits a lot of other marks. I'm actually waiting on playing it because I either want to play it with you or DJ because they're going to release the multiplayer version of it.
Oh, that's right. Co-op's soon. Not out yet. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, you need to remind me when that comes out. I will totally play that with you, dude. Co-op.
Yeah, because I can see the co-op potential in the game. So
is it? Do you think it's going to be more than 2-player co-op? Maybe.
I'm hoping it will be.
That would be badass.
I'm hoping it's 4-player. That would be badass. I'm thinking they might just do 2-player though, but if it's 4 players, that would be fucking dope as fuck, for real. So
yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Mario Kart still number 6.
Bro, didn't I make a joke about this? I don't know when. I just made a joke about that. Yeah, Mario Kart.
Well, Mario
bro. Like,
Party is selling really strong, dude. Like, I'm kind of surprised by this. They actually made a good Mario Party game, and it's selling. Like,
yo, it's
Nintendo,
worth it. It's
pay
so worth
attention.
it, bro.
Like, this franchise is good. Like,
Yo,
give it
this
some
game
love.
is so fun. Like,
Yeah.
this game's fun, yo.
Bro, we
I
gotta
can't
play
wait for
it.
them to
I
add.
have it. What the fuck?
I have it too. I have it too
Oh
now.
my god, we gotta play it. I think Andy has it, maybe. Like, we gotta play it, dude. Like, I'm fucking so down for Mario Party. Holy shit.
Hey, that could be one of our board. Technically, it's a board game.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about hosting a LAN party a while back, and I kind of want to do it at some point, or we figure out somewhere to go, somebody's house, whoever it is, whether it's mine or somebody else's,
Yeah,
and just do a
it
LAN
doesn't matter.
party night
Yeah,
instead of board
yeah, that's
games.
cool. That's
Um,
cool.
we play like Mario Party, Smash, whatever the fuck, whatever we want to play. But yeah, let's talk to the boys and figure that out because that sounds like a good time.
Yeah,
Okay.
nah.
Let me get to. I think they have the full year sales, if I'm not mistaken, in here. Oh, do they not? Am I crazy? Man,
They got the
it's not.
top selling. Yeah, they got the top selling ones.
It's
No,
not
they
in
got
the
the best.
article.
Oh, they got. Oh, they got the month. They don't have the year. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so for the year, what I heard was Call of Duty Vanguard and Call of Duty last year's Call of Duty. I forget which one it was. Were 1 and 2 on the list this year for
Okay.
sales, and I wanted to bring it up because that should tell everybody the significance of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. Even if the game remains on PlayStation, they're taking a 70% rip of every game they sell on PlayStation. They just took Sony's biggest selling game and said, yeah, we're getting 70% of all the money you make on that. And then we're getting 100% on our own platform, so get fucked.
Yeah, and Sony can't be petty in this instance and say, "Well, fuck your game. We're not putting it on our platform," because that would literally cuck
that
all
would
their fucking player base.
that would
Their
well
huge
that
player
and it would
base.
fucking kneecap them like from a revenue
Yep.
standpoint. So yeah, they fucked. Microsoft it's a big move. So there's no way around that. But yeah, good month. Good year for games if you're into Nintendo. I feel like Nintendo had a good year of releases. But overall, kind of a weak year. But that's just one man's opinion. All right, Montrell. Let's move on. There's been a report out there. This is not confirmed. It's a rumor. But there's rumors out there that Hogwarts Legacy might be delayed until 2023. WB themselves actually came out and said this is not true, and the game is still slated for 2022. But I feel like this is something. Didn't we speculate this like when we were doing our games we're looking forward to a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, that it might get pushed back.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have any gameplay or anything. So
Yeah, beyond an announcement of the game, like a short trailer, we've seen nothing of it. No
yeah, and
gameplay.
even in that trailer, like it was you remember 2 or 3 years ago they leaked it? Like
there was like
those scenes were
screenshots leaked. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually released like some of the like quote unquote gameplay, but it was actually like some of this trailer footage they showed. So yeah, they haven't really released anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is delayed to 2023. I mean, that seems more realistic because the game sounds like it's going to be of scale,
Yeah.
like to some degree, like
Robust.
like a 6 or 7 year project, and that kind of fits the timeline of when this was leaked. And this was leaked 2 or 3 years ago, and who knows how long they've been working on it before that. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't care how long they take. I'm just praying to dear God that this game is good. Like, because we've never had a really like great Harry Potter game, and I just want one to come out. The potential of this franchise in gaming, I feel like is high, like really high. And I'd like to see something really good come out of it. So I'm hopeful for it. I don't expect it to come out this year, though. Realistically, no matter what WB says, I don't really believe them right now. Because to be frank, if it's coming out this year, they're really going to have to show a trailer soon. Like really soon. I think in the next like 3 or 4 months. Like I don't think they can wait till E3 necessarily. Because this does not feel like a November, December release game for me. Like I really don't think it will do well in that window. because it's going to be going up against Call of Duty and fucking all the big shooters and shit that are coming out in that
Yeah.
period of time. It
Hmm.
feels more like a September October game, and if you're going to release it, then you can't wait till E3 to announce like a date and show trailer, like your first gameplay trailer, you know.
Yeah.
So I think we'll know pretty soon, like realistically, if it's actually going to come out this year. So, but if there is a trailer, we will certainly cover it on the show. All right, Montreal, let's move on. Got a couple more stories here to talk about. Next one's from Blizzard. They basically announced a new game in a basically job listing that they posted on their website, and this is what it says. So I'm actually going to read this. Create a new universe with us. Blizzard is embarking on our next quest. We are going on a journey to a whole new universe, home to a brand new survival game for PC and console. A place full of heroes we have yet to meet, stories yet to be told, and adventures yet to be lived. A vast realm of possibility waiting to be explored. End quote. I'm going to end it there. The rest of it's just kind of, talking about qualifications and things like that. So, new survival game from Blizzard Montreal, set in a new universe, like a new IP. Like it won't be StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo, or Overwatch, or any of those. Nothing we've seen before. On the website, it's hard to really extrapolate. There's some random art on the website on the job listing. The one on the bottom looks like very fantasy-ish to me, but the one on the top looks more contemporary, modern, almost sort of fantastical. But there's like a couple of people wearing like jeans and a long sleeve shirt with like a beanie on, and there's like a bicycle next to them. So it kind of makes me wonder if the game is like some kind of weird like dimension traversal thing, and that's why you're having to survive, is you're getting displaced from your actual home world into another world, kind of thing. That would be kind of cool. But
Yeah.
what do you think?
Um. Yeah, it looks like to me like either they're in concept still
Yeah,
and they're
they
trying
definitely
to write
are.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
I wouldn't take anything out of what I just said, by the way. I'm just speculating based on the art that's on the webpage. It's not necessarily set in stone. This could be just random shit they put on the webpage, to attract people to the
Yeah.
project.
The first
So,
picture looks like just like some random like art they drew. I don't think that's like for the game. I think the last one though, the unannounced survival game, the picture behind it, I think that may be the game. I think the first one was just like, hey, come join us, and this is what you have
yeah.
to afford to look to, and just some like promotional art to
Yeah.
join Blizzard. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, we did say I would like for them to dabble back into like their older IPs, but we did also say that they haven't created anything new in a while. So it is cool that
Yeah.
they're creating something new, besides like Overwatch or something of that nature. So maybe this will be another hit for them because Overwatch technically was a hit. So
It was actually a huge hit for them. That game was a big
yeah,
seller.
huge. Yep.
But I did see somebody say they made an interesting point, is that Blizzard in the last 15 years or so, their forte is popularizing a genre that is often niche. Um, MMOs being one with World of Warcraft, then you've got like card games with like Hearthstone, and then even Overwatch with like a hero shooter. They do, and then Diablo with like ARPGs. They do, that is like the one thing you can say for them, is they do have a knack for hitting something that is often not a big genre, because survival is not a big genre. It's definitely a niche genre. Mostly a lot of it's in the indie space as well, up to this point, and that does feel like something they're good at. So it kind of makes me wonder what their idea is. I actually like am intrigued by this, because this is outside of their realm too, of what they've traditionally made, and I'm actually happy to hear that they're doing something like this, like really branching out, like
Mm-hmm.
going for something new again, like Overwatch was. When Overwatch came out, dude, that was a really exciting game. I was really like happy with it when it came out, in the sense that it was totally different from Blizzard, you know?
Yeah, it was such a breath of fresh air
Yeah.
because a lot of people weren't really doing that stylistic approach, um, and everyone was still doing the realism thing, and they just went full stylish, and
Hmm.
I loved it. I loved it for that, and I loved how it popularized that style. Even though I think people are still pushing for more realism, or the industry itself is still pushing for more realism. I think gamers, we're like, hey, as long as we can do stylish stuff and the game, or not stylish, but if it's a stylized approach and the game looks beautiful, like we don't really care for it to be, I need to see every crevice of their fucking nose hairs and everything like that. Like, I don't need to fucking see that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think games like Overwatch and Fortnite have proven that even the Jurassic style switch in fucking Titanfall to Apex, even though it's the same universe, Titanfall is more of a realism style, whereas Apex is more stylish. Like it's in the same universe, yeah, but they kind of went the cartoony route with Apex Legends, or yeah. So I think that's the style we're gonna see from here on out, because not only is it cost effective, you can do a lot more with that style. You can put crazy shit in the world with that kind of style, and Blizzard kind of proved that, because that's always been like their stylized approach. Even you can say to a certain extent, StarCraft wasn't really realistic. It was a more
Mhm.
realism stylized approach to things, but the characters were really cartoony. They were carthagers of like real life things and stuff like that. Like the Marines are like full blooded, Americans. You want a piece of me, boy? Like so like
Commander.
commander, and then they're like catharches of like realism, but they didn't look real. Like those big bulky suits and shit like
Yeah.
that. That shit didn't look
I
real as
love
fuck.
StarCraft, man.
Yeah, and then like Warcraft. I mean, that was like nothing but stylized. Like
Pure
even
cartoony, yeah.
pure cartoony.
Dude,
Yeah,
like even Warcraft 2 is like cartoony as fuck, it like gets even more cartoony in Warcraft 3. But yeah, same with StarCraft. Like StarCraft 2 is definitely cartoony. They went
yeah,
That's been their graphic style for 20 years.
yep.
And I don't have a problem with it. I think a lot of people do. They wish Blizzard would like go the realism route, but why? It doesn't
Why?
serve their
Yeah,
games. Like it's something that wouldn't have served any of their games that they've released. I think StarCraft 2 and Diablo 3 are the only exceptions, I think, where I do think they went a little too far down the cartoon path, particularly with Diablo 3. But they're pulling that back a little bit with D4, right? Like they're going back
yeah.
to that more older school look with it. And StarCraft's dead, so we don't have to worry about them doing anything bad anytime soon. So, you know, um, but yeah. So I mean, I think for the most part they know what serves their games in terms of art, and they'll do the right thing. So whatever that is,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, as
I'm
much as we
just
shit on them, like they are
yeah,
good. They are good developers.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
no,
They do still make good games. It's just
yeah.
not in the
The
way we
games that
want them
we
to be good.
exactly.
I feel like I just did like a Michael Scott talking about Toby in the Office, thing. I hate the way that you choose to be. I fucking love that line, dude. Oh, Blizzard, you are my Toby. You are my Toby for sure. All right, Montrell, let's move on. We got one more story here before
Oh,
we go today,
brother.
and this one I think will be a quick.
Yeah.
Crisis 4 has been announced by Crytek. There was a short little teaser trailer that ended with a 4 saying join the journey, become the hero. Montrell, you looking forward to
Hot
Crisis 4?
take. Crisis, the series, is the Avatar of video games. I said it. There you go. Yep.
All right, story over. I don't really care about Crisis, so great. Hope
Yeah,
you got
like
whoever it is. Glad you're getting your game.
yeah. No. Okay, so when I say that, right? I'm sorry. I just want to elaborate on this. Like when I fucking say that, right? It pisses me off, because why are you announcing the Crisis 4? No one remembers Crisis 3. Everybody bought Crisis 3 because they wanted to test their fucking PC. That was it. Like that's literally what people bought
Which
Crisis
I don't
for.
even think it did that well. People still used Crisis, the original one, for testing their PC for fucking years after that game came out, even after Crisis 2 and 3 came out. So, yeah.
So, And I say that because like it tried to push the boundaries of technology, just like the Avatar the movie did. It tried to push boundaries, and it sold really well. But the cultural impact, it would never be like fucking Thanos, the snap of Thanos, right? It would never be like fucking Star Wars. Like as much money as that movie has sold or have made rather, no one fucking remembers that movie. Like they just announced Avatar 2, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't give a fuck about these
Dude,
blue people.
Avatar
Like
1 came out in 2009. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? James
nobody
Cameron is a
remembers.
fucking con man, bro. Like, he's a great director. He's a great director. Don't get me wrong. He's made some great movies. But, bro, you have literally fooled a studio into paying you money for 15 years for a movie series that isn't even on the horizon. We don't know when it's coming out. Like, how, dude?
All
Like,
they see is that $2 billion it made.
oh
That's all
my
they see,
God. Like,
and
it's not
it's
worth
not gonna
it.
it's not gonna make it. It's not gonna do it anymore
No,
because you know
dude.
why? The Marvel movies have just completely obliterated that shit.
Yeah.
Like our expectations of
Yep.
movies in general, like have. I just watched fucking whatchamacallit the other day. What the fuck is it called? God damn it! The movie that's kind of like Star Wars but not like Star Wars. Is it called Dust? No.
Dune?
Fucking Dune. I
Yeah.
watched that shit and it had practical effects and CGI, but the practical effects like outdid the CGI, and the way that movie was shot was fucking gorgeous as fuck. Like I don't want to see a fucking Avatar movie after watching that shit, bro. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Well,
I don't care about Avatar. Like
I think the other thing is that Avatar is not that interesting of a movie. Like, the movie itself is decent enough. Like, it's okay. It's like maybe worth a watch. But was it decent enough that I want a sequel out of it? No, not really.
No.
Like, we all went to see it. This is what you're totally right, man. The MCU and everything we've had in movies in the last 15 years, like, it's totally left Avatar behind. Who cares? Who's gonna be excited about Avatar 2? I don't give a shit. Like, I almost want to see it just to see how bad it is, because it's not gonna be good. There's no way a movie that's been in development for this long is gonna be good. There's just no fucking conceivable way. Like,
even not even movies too, like game studios or animation studios, render studios have outdone Avatar. Like the reason Avatar 1 was so influential or it was groundbreaking was because the game was shot in a full 3D CGI rendered thing that was made to look real. And at the time, and it was a 3D movie, right? It was the first 3D movie. So it was using all that to this advantage where you're like, oh my God. At the time, it looked like those people were real to us. Like we were like, holy shit. But if I watch it now, I'm like, bro, what the fuck was I thinking? This is like a fucking PS4 cutscene. Like like the Halo 2 anniversary remakes that they did for the cutscenes that Blur Studios did for Halo 2 looks 1,000 times. Like when you see fucking Sarge talk, you're like, is this a real man? Is this real? Am I looking at a real person right now? That's how good those CGI cutscenes look now. Like that's how good when the studio pours money, they have unlimited resources like Microsoft does, and they pour it into animation and rendering. Like that's the kind of product you can present. And if you guys haven't seen like the remade cutscenes for Halo 2 anniversary, I recommend you go look at them on YouTube in 4K. You're gonna blow your fucking head off because it looks fucking real as shit. So that's the stuff they have to deal with, and I don't think no company is willing to shell out that much money that Microsoft shelled out for that type of shit, right? Yeah. So, and these were like 30-minute like cutscenes and shit like that. Like, so these weren't like full 2-hour movies and shit like that. So I say that to say, like, I think Crisis is in that same realm where we have left Crisis behind. If you talk to anybody today and be like, hey man, what was your favorite PC FPS of like last generation or the generation before last? That's when Crisis 3 came out. Mm-hmm. No one's going to say Crisis 3. Guarantee. I will bet my gun collection that no one will say Crisis 3.
It'll be Call of Duty 4. That'll be the answer. So, yeah.
Yeah, like people bought Crisis 3 and burned it or pirated it just to test their PC build. That was literally it. You had the latest TI, 1080 fucking TI. You're like, oh fuck yeah, I got this 2080. I'm about to fucking test my
Oh,
PC. I'm about to
back then
put
it was probably
everything.
like a 680 or something, or like a
Oh yeah, I forgot about the
480
680s.
or
Yeah.
yeah, man. They've been through the number cycle multiple times at this point. So, there's literally I think they're like if you go look, like they've had two generations of the same numbered card, Nvidia. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's like the what was it? The 680, right? The
I don't
680,
I don't
right?
fucking remember back then. It probably was
Yeah.
a 680 or 580
Yeah,
or 590.
580 is yeah. Like if you had the latest 680 or 580 or whatever the fuck, you're like, yeah, man, look at this 2000. Oh my god, that car was probably like $2,000 at the time. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Look at this $2,000 card I got, and I'm about to test Crisis on it, and I'm about
It's
to
like
put
a
it on
fucking
YouTube.
potato now, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm running at 1080p, boy, 60 frames,
Let's
boy.
go.
Let's go,
Right.
Prime Gaming.
We were such like cavemen back then. Like think about that, man. We're like excited about 1080p with 60 frames. Oh my god, dude! It was so fraudulent too back then, the marketing, because Sony and Microsoft would sell the Xbox 360 and the PS3 like, yeah, they're full HD consoles, 1080p, fucking blah, 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 blah. And you go look at every game, go look at every PS3 game you own if you own any, and all of them, almost every single fucking one of them
720.
say 720p on the box, like on the back of the box. Go look, guarantee you. It was total fraudulent bullshit marketing. None of them played games at 1080p. None of them. None of those consoles did. So yeah, shit's hilarious looking back on it now. But simpler times, man. We were all so innocent. We're like in college, like just like cute little kids.
Yeah,
Like,
the industry was still kind of young
I
too.
know
Like
the
it was.
industry was like feeling it out. We had these really gross like microtransaction things and like the fucking online
They,
passes. You remember that
the
stuff,
dislike
man?
content. Oh
It
my
feels,
god.
yeah, disc lock content, those controversies. Like it feels so it feels so precious now looking back on it, compared to where we are now. It's like, man, I
I,
kind of
I
miss those controversies.
I think that's what gamers don't understand. Like today's gamers don't understand why we complain so much. Is because what you guys are seeing is what we've literally been through. We've
Yeah.
been through this
We
shit.
lived through the
And
beginning of it.
yeah, and we were trying to stop it. Then it
Yeah,
just
we
evolved.
failed. We failed. We failed you. We're sorry. We failed you. And man, there was some naivety too. We were like we didn't know how, we were young, right? Like think about it, Montreal. Like you and I, we were like 20, 21, 22 in the
Yeah,
PS3 360R, or younger, even 18, 17, at certain points. And it's like, we're young. We're not like we're in high school going into college or in college. It's like we don't know how the world works at that fucking point yet. You don't know shit. You're a fucking idiot.
well, to our
Like,
defense, right? There were a couple games that were bullshit, like Street Fighter versus Tekken,
yeah.
and even Gears of War 3, where it had like dislike,
Oh yeah.
skins for the fucking guns and shit like that.
Yeah.
But remember, at that time, you got a full game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not only that, you had to play the game to unlock content. Like you were
Yes.
still doing that in Call of Duty, like the prestige modes and everything of that nature. You're unlocking emblems and everything of that nature. You were unlocking it. You weren't buying it. Yeah, I know Call of Duty fans. Whoa, we weren't buying emblems. Yeah, you weren't. You were unlocking emblems as you prestiged. Um, Even like we didn't know how bad it was. So when we did buy DLC, like say for like Mass Effect 2 or 3 or whatever, we were getting like really good 6-hour content for like when Fallout was releasing, DLC. We were getting like each DLC was like 3 or 4 hours for like
Or
$10.
like
And
Borderlands, yeah, Borderlands 1 and
yeah,
2. They
Borderlands
had
2,
big
1 and 2, yeah.
DLCs, yeah. They had big
Yeah,
DLCs. I mean,
and
they still
but
do with
you
3, but yeah.
yeah, but you got full robust games. Like you spent
Yep.
before those DLCs even came out, you already had like 50 hours logged into the games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's why we were naive, because we're like, oh my God, I can only get better from here. And we're like, we had no idea, bro. We just had no fucking
Yeah, man. Like we didn't know how bad corporations were. Like we hadn't been burned yet, that bad, and
yeah.
here we are, 2022, and we're like happy when, dude, we're like eating the hype of Nintendo revealing like Smash Bros DLC characters. We're so excited that we get to give them $5 for one character. It's like, oh my god, where are we, bro? Where are we? Like,
remember in some games you could buy the DLC on a disc at GameStop.
yeah. Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I remember that, dude. Man, simpler times, dude. Well, yeah, like Game of the Year editions would come with a DLC disc. They would have
Yep.
like two discs. They'd have the base game disc, and then they'd have a disc with all the DLC on it because they couldn't
Like
fit it on the main disc.
like expansion packs meant something. Like when you got an expansion for like StarCraft, you got a fucking brand new game, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like
Yeah.
Brood War was a brand new fucking game. Like I don't care what nobody says. That shit
It was
changed meta in StarCraft.
Oh, yeah.
So
Totally. Well, yeah, no, and you remember the marketing campaigns? They would like do blog posts on their fucking game website where they would like show a new unit every like week or something.
oh yeah,
And you would be like, you'd be like, oh, the lurker looks so fucking cool, dude. Oh fuck, oh shit, And then they'd show medics, and you're like, they'd have like the voice lines on there, and you're like, oh yeah, she sounds hot, like fucking Jesus, dude.
I don't know why I was randomly thinking about the medic yesterday, and I was cooking. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking about it. I was like, I think somebody in Discord said something like, where does it hurt or something like that.
Oh,
I
think it was me.
Where
It
does
was
it?
probably me. I do that all the time. I was such
Like, where does it hurt?
idiot.
I was like, man, she would be banned now. Like her lines would be banned.
Absolutely, dude. There's no way that shit could come out now, dude. Bro, go to like Warcraft 3. The Blade Master is such a fucking racist stereotype. Like the fucking witch doctors in that game too. The like Jamaican fucking trolls.
Hey, Mod.
Hey, Mon. Hello, Mon. I got you, Mon. Like it's so fucking funny, dude. I miss those times, man. I do miss those times some days. I wish, like, if I had a genie lamp, I would probably wish to live through like that part of gaming again, like 1996 to like 2006. Like, give me that. Just give me those 10 years back, and I'll live through it again. Because those were the
StarCrafts were the worst. Like they were the worst of the South people, because like all of the Marines were like the Southern people. Except
everybody's from like fucking Texas or like Georgia, like Commander, go go go, like super fucking hillbilly shit, The fucking SCVs were literally like hillbillies, SCV, good to go, sir.
And then you got the fucking like Mother Russia flying units.
Oh yeah, the Valkyries. Yeah. Need something destroyed. And the fucking like German or the Russian fucking battle cruisers, bro.
The Germans were the science people. Like how is that? How
the cruiser operational?
Yeah, like the German people were the science people. Like, bro, like they're basically space Nazis.
Oh my god, dude, they totally were. The Dominion the Confederacy were absolutely space Nazis. Like, oh my god, man. It's so funny. Oh my god. Oh man, I love it, dude. I love gaming. It's so great. It's so great. I miss that shit. StarCraft is fucking great, man. If you haven't played StarCraft, go do yourself a favor. All right.
Yeah, that story is really good. Seriously, I really want them to make a series out that story, man. Dude. Like they got to keep everything.
They can make a television show of those two games, like straight up.
Yeah.
Like specifically Brood War, though. Like, man.
Oh man, Kerrigan was at her best.
Oh,
that was some great. That's how you write a female character, bro. Like that.
Yeah. Bro,
that character was so powerful.
Yeah, you want to talk about an empowered female character? Kerrigan is it, dog. Like, holy shit, she's so good, man. Oh my god, yeah. She just takes the boys and just whips them around. Like she just makes them her bitches. Like they're just doing her bidding, man. Like, and it's like master manipulation. It's great. It's awesome shit, man. So. Yeah. Oh man, Warcraft 3 too. I got some of those same memories of Warcraft 3, but it's StarCraft is funny though. Like those lines, yeah. The Terran units are just so like man, the fucking dropship lady, the like, can I take your order? She's like in a fucking fast food drive-through.
Yeah, that's who Valkyrie reminds me of. A less annoying version of the dropship, or a more annoying person of the dropship people.
Mm-hmm.
That's who Valkyrie from Apex reminds me of.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Man, that's funny, dude. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. We love gaming, okay? As much as we're negative on this podcast, we love gaming. Yeah, final thoughts on Crysis 4. Neither of us really care. But
yep.
Happy you guys are getting it. Whoever likes it. So enjoy that. All right, Montrell. We got a question from that dude this week. And he asked, what does it take to be a guest on the show? So it's a good question. I'm actually kind of not sure how to answer it.
It's not like we have a criteria. Like,
we don't have a process for this. The guests kind of happen. People ask us, and we kind of deliberate amongst ourselves, and we say yes or no. Usually, it's yes. I'd say majority of the time. I don't think we've ever rejected anybody.
No, we haven't rejected anybody.
But it's one of those things, though. Like, we're not gonna do a guest every week. Like, that's not the show. We do it where it makes sense. If we think they'll fit on the show and we kind of have a way of knowing how they'll be on the show, then yeah, we'll have him on the show. Like DJ, like he's a friend of ours. We know how he talks, and he fit in really well. Like Dennison, we know him, he fits in really well. It's just a thing. Like if you're on Twitter and you're just kind of a random person, probably not gonna happen. But unless you like actually have a podcast and we can listen, and kind of get an idea how you talk and dissect stuff. But I don't know. But if people wanted to ask us, go ahead and we'll talk about it. So
yeah, man, we just need to bring something to the show, pretty much. Yeah. Like Dennison, he brought his other podcast, because we know how he talks, and he brings like a casual or other side of mindset to the show, so we know how he talks. DJ, he's an actual game developer, so we want to talk about a little bit about his game and what he was doing, and show people that he is knowledgeable in games. So the person that's making the game that you probably going to play in a year or two, that person really knows video games. And we plan on bringing more guests that just add something to the show. So yeah, if you add something to the show, if you think you add something to the show, then yeah, just like, I don't know, send us something, what you add or whatever. That's my criteria. I just want you to add an experience to the show, like a different perspective or something of that nature. So yeah,
that's kind of my point, right? Like if we don't know you and you just ask us, we have nothing to go off of. I can't just say yes. Like, it's like I like this show, as much as we don't have a huge audience, like the audience we do have though does expect a certain level of quality from us, I'm sure. And I don't want to jeopardize that, every week. So, yeah. And also, I've always said, like with guests, I never want a guest to be kind of a thing where they take over the show, they will need to be integrated into the show, meaning that they will need to be able to talk games, and game news. So that is an important element to any guests we bring on, generally. So cool, Montrell. We've had a good show today. You don't want to talk about anything else before we go? No more.
I'm ready to get back into it. I'm ready to get into Discord with the boys.
Let's go, baby. We got some Final Fantasy, Dota, Apex, whatever the fuck. Let's go. My internet was out last night. I'm ready to game. Let's go. All right. All right, everybody. So if you like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please share it with your friends. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at ThunderNut01, and the show is at the Players Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And that's it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you next week. Bye.